if you put more into this business, you will get more. Like you could make money and like be flashy and neglect the business, and people will think that you're doing amazing because you have a Benz and you have a Rolex and you whatever, and on the surface, but you haven't paid your your laundry guy in 3 weeks. You haven't you're 7 months behind on your produce guy, and he's about to stop serving you. You know because the priorities aren't right.
What's going on, Pizza Fam? Look, I appreciate each one of you for listening to this show, listening to this episode. Before we get back to it, I wanted to tell you about my favorite product right now, Todd's Curry Sauce. I met these guys at the Florida Restaurant Show, Pizza Tomorrow Summit, and I'm telling you, ever since I tried that sauce, I have been putting it on everything in the shop. Chicken wings, pizza, you've seen the pizzas, chicken sandwich, salad dressing. Like, we've been putting Todd's curry sauce on everything, and I'm here to give you a special deal, special offer. Go to their website, toddscurrysauce.com, use code Pizza King, and get 10% off your next order. I promise you, you only need to try it one time. It's going to be the best curry sauce you ever tasted in your life. You're going to start putting it on all kinds of stuff in your shop, even at home. I got a bottle in the pantry here at the house. I got a bottle at the shop. Elliot, Todd, I need another bottle because I'm putting it everywhere. I'm putting it on everything. So go check it out. Use code Pizza King and get 10% off your next order. Peace. Let's get back to it.
All right, there we go. Welcome back to Pizza King Podcast. I'm your host, Tyrell Reed. I got a special guest this week, Garrett Klein from Vincenzo's of Levittown, New York. Garrett, man, tell us who you are, what you got going on over there.
First off, thanks for having me, Tyrell. I really appreciate it. Super cool to be on the podcast and talking what we love, pizza. So my name's Garrett. I own a pizzeria in Levittown, New York, Vincenzo's. I was born and raised in Levittown and had the opportunity to buy a pizzeria that happened to be on the market. And now here we are 8 years later, and getting to talk to you because of opening up the pizzeria 8 years ago.
8 years is a big deal. Congratulations for that. In this business, a lot of folks don't make it that long.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of things that have made this possible. Good staff, great staff, not good staff, great staff who I've been lucky enough to
Heard
have
that.
for most of the time. Um, you know, Very good community support, and then the best product that we could possibly put out. But at the end of the day, it's really just the support from the community. Without them, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have lasted 8 weeks, or let alone 8 years.
Heard that. How long had Vincenzo's been around before you bought them?
The pizzeria that we're in has gone through multiple hands.
Okay.
So it was another pizzeria before that. It wasn't here that long. There was another pizzeria before that. It had a little bit longer staying time. And then we took over. But it's been a pizzeria in the community for about 20 plus 30 years or so, 25, 30 years.
With various operators in and out of there.
And, thankfully, due to the community support, and we've been told that we've actually been one of the longest staying pizzerias in this spot over the years. So that's pretty cool to be able to turn something into maybe somebody else or other people for whatever reason. I don't want other people's business to fail, but for whatever reason, it became available. And it's cool to be able to to be able to hold that torch and really, be able to do good things for the community and stay around that long.
I love that. Where did the love for pizza come from for you?
Um, I mean, it's amazing. It tastes good. That's where the love. I mean, it's growing up. We always had the pizza nights. I remember getting pizza delivered, vividly from the pizzeria down the street, and it was usually the same person delivering it for the longest time. I actually grew up, and when I started driving, I started delivering for that pizzeria that was delivering to my house when I was a kid. And there's still the same owner, same operator, same person, the same family owning it and everything, which was really cool. So he's, I guess, really the reason. I basically just got a job with him, and I just sat around watching and learning in the back, not trying to bother him or get in the way. Just watching what he did, pressing out the dough, the sauce, the cheese, everything. And obviously I love the taste. I love the smell, just being in the pizzeria was awesome once I got in there. And once it just, I don't know, it just took a hold of me.
You just got you got a little bit of it in your blood, and it just took over?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, being in New York, we always, pizza's always a big thing. It's always one of those. It's in every shopping center. So wherever we were, if we were going to ride our bikes, if we were going to, do anything, there's always a pizza place that was close enough that we can usually just stop, have a slice, go, and then go on our way. So it was always part of the day, no matter what we were doing.
Pizza kinda is just part of life out there.
Yeah, it very much so is. It's weird because people are like, oh, pizza is, New York pizza, and everybody connects the two. And it's true. I mean, it's not because we're pompous or because we're, being, I guess, fruit headed or whatever you want to say, or like, like trying to be like, oh, we're the best. But like, it's not because we're the best. I think it's more because of the consistency of the quality of the pizzas across the board. Like, you can get a good pizza. I no doubtably can get a good pizza outside of New York, 100%, because I've eaten good pizza outside of New York. The only thing is, it's not as easy to find a good pizza shop when you might not be in New York. Like when you go to New York, people are like, you got to go to Thar's, you got to go to Rose's, you got to go to Best Pizza, you got to go to King of Berto's, you got to go to Taglio's, you got to go to Mike's, you got to go, and it's like the list is on like three. You got to use hands, like multiple hands, to be like these are the spots that we got to stop when we're in New York. It might not be that way in other states, and I think that's what separates New York and its pizza and its, quote unquote, maybe not whatever you want, pizza capital of the world or whatever. That's what I think separates it outside of in the states at least, because I'm sure outside of in Italy and everything. Obviously, that's a different story.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the most copied pizza in the United States, right?
I think that's also part of it too.
I think you go town to town, you're looking for a New York shop.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter where you are, that's gonna give you the signal, okay, this place is legit, this place is making pizza.
yeah,
This isn't
for sure.
this isn't just like a chain.
And it's and there's also a lot of transplants. A lot of people from New York end up in other places. And they're always looking for a New York style pizza. So other people are like, well, they're going to be here because like in like North Carolina, South Carolina, and stuff. There's literally towns that are populated by majority New Yorkers. And
Yeah.
like they call them like Little Yankee Stadium and stuff like that, and like like because it's like majority New Yorkers, so it would make sense to put a New York style slice shop in that area because that's what you're going to try and cater to. But I think also the word New York attached to pizza makes people's eyes like, oh my god, New York style pizza. So if you're not from New York, you may not have had a traditional New York style pizza. That automatically might separate you out of it by just attaching that New York to it. If that
So
makes
are we calling New York style best style of pizza?
No, I'm not because
Is it your favorite?
I don't know because I go to Frank Pepe's and I'll eat Frank Pepe's. So like traditional style New York pizza, but then like a lot of places have like Neapolitan style pizzas, which are smaller, like made in a high temp oven and stuff like that, which not necessarily fit the New York style pizza, like the larger pies, thinner crust, stuff like that, which is 18 usually like an 18-inch, 16-inch pie. But, like, if you go to, like, some of those spots, they have more of, like, a Neapolitan style pizza, so, like, that's not necessarily a traditional. And then, like, if you go to New Haven, it's more of, like, a charred style. If you go to every style is good if it's made properly, if it's made good, if it's made with love.
That's the key right there. You can't just, leave a pizza in the oven and try to call it a New Haven.
No, that's it, exactly. You can't exactly, you can't overcook a pie and just be like, "I'm making New Haven style pizza." No, it's not
No,
it doesn't work like that. You're just making burnt pizza that people are gonna be like, "I don't really want this." But when it's done, you know, by at Frank Pepe's or Sally's or something, it's like, "All right, I get it." This is good, like, and then, like, I haven't actually had a Detroit style pizza from Detroit or like a Chicago deep dish, but I'm sure they're good. The ones that are passed off here, I'm sure aren't as good as the ones that are actually made in, where they're originated from.
yeah, I'll have to agree. And I think you when I travel around, I'm looking for, what that local authentic pizza looks like. Like what's from here. And not a lot of towns have that. You get that in Chicago, you get that in New York. There are, maybe some other places in the Midwest. I didn't know until recently that, like the Missouri Midwest area kind of had their own
Yeah.
style of pizza and toppings. And it's different. I'm in Florida and we get like the worst rap on pizza. Everyone's like, yeah, you get in the groups on Facebook and it's like, where do I get a good pizza in Florida? They're like, get on 75 and drive for 12 hours.
I mean,
Drive out of me.
it's all relative, like if you're looking for a specific certain style of pizza pigeonholed into a certain, then you're probably not going to like it if you're outside of that particular area. If you can
Hmm.
open up your mind to just be like, this is pizza, this is their ingredients, this is the local, local availability on whatever, like flour, sauces, cheese, and all that other stuff, then you can separate it from just being like, oh, well, this isn't New York style or this isn't this. It's pizza. It's made by somebody who is using their background, their knowledge, and their availability and ingredients and stuff.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, and you're right. Regionality plays a huge role in that too, because you can't always get everything
No,
at a
absolutely not.
reasonable price. You can get it, but
Exactly,
is it gonna be profitable for your business? Probably
exactly.
not.
And that's the thing, like because there's always a fine line of like, well, where's the profit margin stop, and where's the best possible quality available, and then how much further can we go to squeeze and still, like not here when we're, like that's the balance, and like also what people don't realize is if you're buying, I'm just going to throw out numbers. Like if you're buying a $40 bag of flour as opposed to a 25, $30 bag of flour, right off the jump, you have to make your slice more expensive. Your pie has to be more expensive. Like it's just how it works.
It's just
It's just how it goes, So I don't know. I forgot where I was going with that, but that's
no, I get it. And well, and I think that maybe we need to get one of these guys from like Orlando Foods or PFG or somebody to come on to explain to us how they justify some of the prices that they charge for some of these things.
yeah,
Because we wanted to get into like double O flour. The laws are changing everywhere. And we can't use, bleached and bromated product. And okay, well, let's try double O. And we look at a bag and it's 3 times as much as what we're paying. And then you try to justify that from a business standpoint, and it's really hard.
yeah, it's tough.
It's really hard to do that. And even though we tried it and we did it for a while, it didn't equate to like people
No,
giving
well,
us 3 times as much praise
no,
on the pizza,
that's
or
the thing.
even happy with paying 10% more on a pie.
Yeah.
It didn't equate. So we're always trying to find that balance. I agree with you.
So like, you know, it's all volume. Like these bigger chains, they just care about volume. Like
Hmm.
the problem with that at the end of the day is if it's a franchise and like say I own a Domino's, I'm handcuffed to their pricing in my
Hmm.
region. I might not do 500 pies a day to warrant that pricing based off of what they're figuring you're going to do because it's all volume. Corporate sees it as we have X amount of stores, they're locked in, they already have to pay us. It's harder
Yeah.
for people. People are like, "Oh, you're a franchise owner. You got to be making a lot of money." Like any franchise, really, whether it's a McDonald's or whatever it is, pick a franchise. You are not making money unless you are properly located in like the busiest spot. But you're not really making money until you have multiple locations. You do not
Yes.
you do not make money off of one McDonald's. You make money off of 10 McDonald's. You have to get into McDonald's with one or two, and then you can get to three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, or 10. Most of the time, they're not going to be like, oh, here, take 10 McDonald's, unless you already have 10 McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got to have a very very deep resume with franchise operations to even get a deal at that level. They'll sell you one. They'll
They'll
let you
sell
get
you
out there
one,
and get one, and they'll flip you out of it when you fail.
and
They're
that's what they
they're
want.
happy to do it.
They
I've
love to
I've
do that.
been
They
I've
love
been in
it.
the franchise game a long time, and it's great for a franchisor, and it's great for suppliers and partners and vendor partners. it is very hard on a franchisee until you get to, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 locations. You can really start to see the benefit of that. But it also takes a huge investment in the same amount of time, same amount of investment, but you pay so much more going out the door because of all of the, maybe they did negotiate a cheaper price on cheese, but you're actually paying it in royalty
Yeah,
and in
absolutely.
advertising and marketing fees, and all those things start to matter. So I definitely encourage people to do your homework before you ever get into a franchise
Yeah.
business.
And then on top of that, like you said, the people that make money are the suppliers because I open up a McDonald's, I have to get 75 to 80% of my stuff from their supplier. I can get the other 20%, whether, smaller things, but most of the stuff I can't go to, say, like a Restaurant Depot and buy hamburgers and be like, I'm serving these hamburgers at Restaurant Depot because they're cheaper. They're on sale.
Nope, they want you
It's not
can't do it.
it's not gonna work. You have to get McDonald's hamburgers, you have to get McDonald's packaging, you have to get everything that says McDonald's, you have to supply that. They don't give you that because you own McDonald's. You have to buy that at whatever the rate is.
Yeah. I think the misconception about franchising is that you're buying a proven system, which you technically, I feel like you should be buying a proven system for success and profitability. But really what you buy is a system that has, you're buying like this encapsulated little system to make a lot of other people money. And you can make money if you do it right, but you bought a job, and you bought the idea of something, but you really got to go work your butt off to make it
Sure.
happen, to make it work.
Yeah, if I
And
no,
no, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, finish your thought, sorry.
And I was just saying, and then spending so much time on it on both sides of it too, franchisor and franchisee. It is a tough business to go out and be successful unless you can get to multiple locations, build a great team, really focus in on the financial side of the business. But what you lose is the connection to quality and creativity and individuality. And that's a tough one for some folks.
If you wanna be creative, then getting into a franchise is not what you wanna do. 'Cause you're bound to whatever they say. Oh, they have a new product out, that's what you gotta make. Like the flying saucer, the guy who started making flying saucers, Carvel wanted nothing to do with the flying saucer, but the guy's like, "What are we doing with all this extra ice cream? We gotta figure it out." And eventually it became huge. But at first, the guy was not doing what Carvel wanted, and it was a problem. And then they
Hmm.
realized maybe he's onto something. And now everybody knows the flying saucer. Well, I mean, I don't know if you have Carvel or if you know Carvel or whatever, but Carvel is a huge ice cream chain that's up here that they make the flying saucer. It's basically a cookie sandwich, an ice cream sandwich. But
Yeah.
that was the idea of somebody who's like, "What am I doing with all this product? It's gonna go bad." So he's like, "Let's make something out of it." It wasn't popular, but then it became popular because it was cost effective and it was making them money.
Yeah. And well, I think for some folks, if you're the type of person who doesn't want to have to figure it out, sure, you can go do that. And you can make, okay, you can make a living, but it's not going to get you rich, right? You bought yourself a really good job, but you got to be there.
Exactly. I was just going to say that you are going to be like, "Oh, I own McDonald's," but you're essentially the owner, the manager, the GM, the fry, the line cook, like, and it's unfortunate, like, but that's the reality of it. You're buying, like you said, you're buying yourself an 80-hour a week job because if you think you're going to go and buy a McDonald's, set it up, hire 7 teenagers right out of high school, and think you're going to make $5 million a year and sit on a yacht, you're sadly mistaken.
You're the kind of folk. That's exactly what the sharks are swimming for. Is a person that thinks that's going to happen. Did you consider franchise before you bought that location?
No, I mean, no, I don't think so. No, like I could buy a race car, but like I'm not a race car driver, so like I'm not like I don't want to have the shiny race car and not really have that. Like, no, I don't. No, that's not my. I didn't want to go that route. Like I like to be able to have my own thoughts and my own visions be able to come to life, fail or succeed, whether it's a new pie or trying a new product or working with a new person or whatever it is. Uh, it didn't really seem like it was the route that I would go.
you wanted to be your own. How much did you just completely change menu and operations when you took over that location?
Yeah. So when we took over, there was an older gentleman and his wife that were running it. They were here, but basically sitting around watching. Like this is what people would tell me like after we took over. The owner and his wife basically be sitting in the corner. There'd be like some sort of soccer game on. They'd be just there, and then they'd be, like the customers would come in, and there would be people doing all the work behind the counter. And that's again like you buy a franchise and you have to put all that work in when you have one. When you buy when you buy any type of you know business, whether it's food service or I don't know, whatever, pick it. I don't know,
Yeah.
window washing, power washing, painting, whatever it is, you have to be present for it to work. You unless it's on the largest scale possible. But even like, um, you know, King Umberto's, the guy is there every day. You see him there all the time. He's behind the counter, and that's one of the bigger pizzerias in New York. Like it's a huge pizzeria. Like they're there. Like he's always they're getting their hands dirty, but it's on a different level than like I'm washing dishes, I'm making pizzas, I'm making orders. Sometimes I have to run a delivery. Sometimes I'm answering the phone. Like I'm doing everything that needs to get done while I'm here, not just overseeing. And that's what owning a business is. Yourself, essentially, you're buying yourself a job, but you don't have to answer to anybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, watching,
To me, that's the fun part.
yeah,
It's like watching your kids grow. Like I'm building this. I'm building this business and we're doing that. I remember when the last store we had, we bought, and it was just a junk little store going out of business, doing, a couple $1,000s a week. And to see where we were able to take it, over the 13 years that we had it, that's something to be proud of. Like
ooh,
when
that's
you're
amazing.
doing it yourself and you paint, like I got my kids in there, we're painting our own walls. Like
Yeah, yeah,
you learn how to fix everything in there. Like I'm a little mechanic now. I'm not afraid of a gas line. Like stuff like that just happens over time,
yeah,
but you
sure,
sit back and it makes you proud because it taught you a lot of lessons.
absolutely. And like all the things that might have gone wrong and like set you back or made you feel like this is impossible or this is something I why did I do this? I'm crazy, like we were talking about earlier. They all disappear when you get the pies in the showcase and you get the kids in and out eating slices and they're on their bikes and they're joking around with each other and orders are going out and things are happening. Like that all disappears. It all dissipates. You're just like, like
Yeah.
it's a calm, and you're like, this is why we put in all that stress and fighting with, the gas lines and fighting with whoever, utilities, and fighting with, anybody, vendors and whatever you have to, whoever like behind the scenes. Once you get those pies in and you start smelling the pizza cook, it's zen. I don't know. Like it's
So
like
like
pizza.
that's
Like
what
it's
I love it.
like but like to get back, I circled around a little bit, but to get back to your original question, we took over the pizzeria from a couple that was kind of neglectful. They were here, but hands off. They were
Mm,
basically helicopters, just hovering over. We took over from them. I actually bought in with a partner of mine who I had to buy out. I actually bought out a second partner, and now it's just me. Throughout the 8 years, I had a partner who I bought out initially that I bought in with. I bought him out. Somebody took over for that person. I had to buy him out. It was a whole different thing. Eventually,
yeah.
I'm a twice divorced business owner.
Well, that's another side of business that people don't always understand.
Yeah, but I am happily married, and that's my forever. Right? Now, my fiance, who we were talking about, the IT team, she runs the business with me, and that was the best decision I ever made. Was just saying, let's do this together, just me and you. Forget these bozos, and we'll do it ourselves. Which circle back. One of the guys was a very good friend of mine, and we fought in together. The things happened, and fortunately, I had to buy him out. And now we've reconciled, and he's back here helping me out again. I love the dude; he's awesome. I don't know if he's going to hear this, but if so, you're not a bozo. The other dude that I had to buy out is 100% a bozo.
All right.
I just want to clarify that.
Well, we want your buddy to know he's cool, but we want that bozo to know he's a bozo. We
Yeah.
glad he's out of there.
So over the years, we changed up the look of the store. When we first came in, we did basically as much of a overhaul as we can.
Okay.
We painted, we changed light fixtures. We changed, we didn't have as much money, obviously, because we just spent most of our money on buying the store, getting the product, setting up the utilities, setting up this, setting up that, buying all the, buying different, things that were broken in the store. So, we had to replace the oven. We had to replace certain things we had to replace to make it operational. So we were like, we got to renovate. We got to try and get this going as quickly as possible, as nicely as we can get it done, but as also as budget friendly as we can. For like a week and a half straight, basically 12, 13 hours every single day, me, my fiance, and two of my friends, and then my business partner at the time, and my mom. Basically, scrubbed the entire store, painted, set up everything, and we're ready to go. We wanted to try and be ready for Super Bowl because obviously that's huge. Super Bowl is a big,
Yeah.
big, big, big day in the pizza industry. Pizza on Sundays in general during football season and pizza wings and that and such are huge during football. We had already missed all football season based on the
Uh,
timeline of when we got in. So we're like, we got to get ready and be ready for um, Super Bowl. We opened up 2 days before Super Bowl, which essentially it didn't necessarily matter too much because people really didn't know we existed, but like we still were able to at least open the doors and start making some money, which felt good because everywhere we looked, it was like, here's some money for you, 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 and you, and you. And then we look at our hands and we're like, oh, we have just enough money to get lunch today. Excellent. And then we do the same thing again. We go to the store, we get, that was what we did. And then finally, when we like made our first sale, we made our first delivery, and like we were like, it was amazing. It was like, holy moly, we're actually getting this going. Like it's actually real. Like it's happening. Like that
yeah.
meme that pops up from The Office.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, it was crazy. We got it going. It was basically essentially a soft opening, and we just started, I guess, taking on more and more smaller private customers, whether it was with the schools, or whether it was with different businesses and stuff in the area. And then things just started rolling. Once people realized that we were here, we had good product, and then on top of that, we were born and raised in this town, it really resonated with the people in this town. It's a tight knit community. People really stick together. They galvanize for one another for things, and it really helped open the door for getting schools in the area, getting other different whether it's like the sports, like the organizations. Uh,
Hmm.
you know, that's always a big thing. We started sponsoring any and every sports organization that came through the door: cheerleaders, football team, wrestling team, soccer team. Whether you were at we're kind of central to a lot of schools in the area. There's 3 different high schools that we can support with. There's like 5 different elementary schools that we can work with, which we do work with pretty much all of them. There's 3 middle schools in the area, so we're central to a lot of stuff. And when they all learned that we were in the district growing up, they were super happy to support us, and we were super happy to support them because that was our grew up through that. So
Yeah.
it's just full circle almost.
So do you offer like deals to the schools for like on pies or on orders?
Yeah,
Kind of just take care of them?
oh yeah. Any school event for anybody that's in the school, it doesn't matter if you're the custodian or if you're the principal. If you work at the school and you're doing something at the school, you have a school price. For any of the sports organizations in the area, you have to see, pricing is all vary for them. Um, Anything that's community built, community like because we operate in this community, but we're also born in this community, and like the people that I have working for me, they also were born in this community. They went to school here as well, so they also have a connection to it. So that's big. So being able to not just take from the community, but give, because I see business as a give and take relationship, right? If I'm just taking and taking and taking, I'm like, oh, I'm open up for business, you know, come buy my pizza. And they're like, oh, well, we're doing this thing at the school. Come support, can you support us? I'm like, no, but buy my pizza.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. That's not how you do things. Whether it was in Levittown where I am born and raised, or it was in, I don't know, pick a town, pick a state, wherever it was. If there's a community, we're helping. Um, because that's just how it should be, in my opinion. Because my business is only as strong as the community. So if the community isn't uplifted and doing well and thriving, not necessarily because I add millions of dollars of tax money and sales tax revenue and employee tax revenue and all that stuff. None of that stuff. I'm a small scale, but it's more like it's a good place to come, and they're a part of the community, and they know that being a part of the community is important. Yeah, I remember my mom would go into a local store and then she'd be like, my son's trying to get to, do this trip with his school, or my son wants to go play baseball, and they'd raise him money and they'd be like, no, we can't help you. Sorry. And then she'd come out and be like, oh, all right. Like $25 for a small organization, like whatever, $25 is $25 to pretty much everybody, unless you're
Yeah.
multi-million dollars. Money is still money. So like $25 is little compared to the community. What's the word that I'm looking for? I guess the groundswell of like the ripple of them saying, "Oh, I went to Vincenzo's and they supported."
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to Vincenzo's and they were happy to do a fundraiser for us. And then now my name is on the back of their T-shirt. My name is in their brochure. When people are like, "Oh, I went to Vincenzo's," and maybe it wasn't so good. They're like, "Oh, well, Vincenzo's does amazing things for the community. Like give them a break. Give them a chance." Like you
Yeah.
get a little bit more um, equity. I feel like with people.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that especially as a pizzeria owner, you gotta look at it, you gotta look at the benefit of what that pizza means. For us, it's food costs. It's dough sauce, cheese, and toppings. But for somebody else, it's dinner. It's we just made our event better. We just made our party better. We just solved a problem. We forgot to call a caterer. We couldn't get food on time. I got you. 5 pizzas, 10 pizzas. Th that that goes the value of that is way more than the dollars that coulda come in.
100%.
It's so much more, and sometimes it's hard to get people to understand that. It's like, "Well, I don't wanna give away free stuff." Like, "No, give it to them because you're gonna get it back 10 times."
You're not giving away free stuff. You're giving away equity in your business. You're giving away good faith. That's what you're giving away. You're giving away love. And when you do those things, you're not giving away anything other than just somebody's going to be, like you said, their event's going to be better. We're going to provide them great pizza. And now somebody at that event who might not have had my pizza has my pizza, and they're like, "Oh, damn, this was good." And they just ate 3 slices. That was a good slice. I just ate 3.
Yeah,
I usually only have 1, and then they go and ask the event coordinator, "Where'd you get that pizza?" Well, they got it from Vincenzo's. They got it from us, as opposed to they got it from somewhere else. And that's
I
huge.
love that.
And
I
that
think I love that too, and it goes to show that, another thing I like to say is you can't cut corners when you do that either. Sometimes you give it away and you're like, oh, well, they don't need to get the full load of cheese, or we're going to go skimp on the pepper. No, you give it because you never know who's going to see it, who's going to taste it. And that could turn into the next catering event or the next party or the next loyal customer, which is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. You got to take care of those folks. I love that you do that.
And it's like those top athletes who go out and perform every day, and they do what they have to do every day, and they perform, and they ask, "Well, why don't you ever take a day off?" And their answer is because there might be a little kid in the crowd who's never got to see me play before, and this is their first and maybe only time they get to see me play. And I'm not going to go out there and disappoint. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to give my all. I may not put up 40, I may not hit 2 home runs, but I'm going to hustle. I'm going to do everything right, and I'm going to show that's how it's supposed to be done. And that's, like there's a an important lesson in that stuff.
Man, respect for that. Respect for that. How do you, and one of the questions I had was, you talked earlier about New York just being really just like the home base for pizza in America, right? And there's pizza on every corner and every plaza, every center, every building. How do you stand out? I can hear that you've done a lot of things in the community, but what else have you done to stand out and last for 8 years? Because that's still to me a very big deal.
Community that anybody that's listening, get involved with your community. Like you can do a direct you can do a direct mailers, you can do whatever. The return on those direct mailers are like 2%, and you're going to spend crazy amount of money, right? And it might be good because you're going to get 2% and it's going to be good. You'll get a pop in the beginning. That's maybe not sustainable because then you have to send out that direct mailer constantly, right? Because this is a what have you done? Not necessarily a what have you done for me now society, but more of a what's in front of me now society. The average meme and scroll through, like it's like 30 seconds. Like you have 30 seconds to capture and entice somebody to stick around. And you don't even
Maybe
have
less, probably like 3 or 4 seconds now.
to, like exactly. It's probably like 3 to 4 seconds to capture and entice them, but it can't be longer than 30 seconds to hold their attention.
Oh yeah.
Like growing up, it used to be like a kid's attention span is about 30 minutes, right? That's why all these TV shows are about 30 minutes, right? They they cater to that, right? So now the attention span is even worse. It's like 30 minutes to hold a person's attention for 30 minutes. If you go to a concert, if you go to maybe not the movies, but even maybe so at the movies, but if you go to most of these places, the people's phones are out. Anything that happens, you're like, how did they capture that? Oh, because their phone's already in their hands. That's how. It's
That's how
easy
they
for
do.
them to press record and just point the camera at whatever is happening. And you're like, why are they recording in this random thing? Like anything that happens. Somebody just so happened to be recording that CEO cheating on his wife, and that was the biggest meme. Who's thinking to record the Jumbotron at a concert? But somebody's doing it. It's happening.
Yeah. You're
Somebody's
not watching the concert.
they're
You're
not
watching
they're
your phone.
they're watching their phone, which is watching the concert because their phone is already up and they're recording because it's not living in the moment. They're living for something that's going to stay on their phone that they'll probably never watch and is just cluttering everything. It's a part of the clutter, like people love to clutter. It fills up their life with things, so they clutter with everything, whatever it is. Perfect example. Me and you have mural walls all over the place. Some might see it as clutter. I see it as like, I don't know, aesthetic or whatever. Some people see that as clutter. Some people see it as art. I see it as art. I love it.
To
I
me,
love it.
yeah, it's art. It's my motivation, right? It's
But
like,
it's a microcosm of people's minds because everybody's minds are so cluttered, but they're also scattered all over the place to everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a blurb here, a blurb there, a blurb here, a blurb there, a blurb there, this, that, like instant notification, and like, so I digressed like 1,000 ways backwards. I took probably, I don't know. I go on tangents sometimes. Sorry. I, I tend to talk, but community,
so tell me what
community,
community's done it for you. What's
all
do you
community.
have any good customer stories?
I'm sorry.
You got any good customer stories?
I mean, I've had customers come back into the store with, 2 pies, 2 slices in a box and been like, "I can't eat this. I don't understand. I want my money back." And I'm like, "There's 2 slices and crust. How many people had to eat this pie to realize that it wasn't good? Now you want what are we talking about?" And then it's like, what do? I tell them to kick rocks. And now like he goes online and he tells somebody his side of the story, which is I made the worst pizza he's ever had. So I have to appease him, like, here's your money back. Maybe this place isn't for you. Try down the street. There's 90 other pizzerias that you can go to. Sorry to don't bring the energy here. Like, I mean, we have crazy customers all the time. I mean, I don't know, like, I don't know. We've had
Yeah,
people do all
I get
sorts
it.
of stuff. I don't know. We have people
They
come
always
in
want free
like
stuff. I hate notes on online orders and DoorDash orders.
notes
Like
on
it drives me crazy.
the notes on online orders where people are like, "I want a cheese pie," and then in the notes they're like, "Please make it a buffalo chicken with jalapeno celery." And it's like, we have a buffalo chicken pie on the menu, and you could add toppings of whatever you want. Pay for it for sure. I'll do that for you. Don't order a piece pie and then try and upgrade it in the notes to whatever nonsense you believe that you're entitled to. Oh, that's crazy. I
It
love
drives me crazy.
I love when
And
people.
go ahead.
I love. So my name is Garrett. It's Garrett, right? Garrett. Everybody thinks it's Garrett, Gary. It's not Garrett. I tell all my employees, if somebody comes in here and they say, "I know the owner. Where's Gary?" They don't know me. They have no clue who I am. They've probably met me one time, heard me say my name, thought it was Gary because they're not listening. Maybe I also kind of speak a little bit low and mumble over my words once in a while, so you might not fully articulate it and hear it, whatever. But if you come in and you say that you know Gary, the owner, you don't know me. If you come in here and you say, I know Vincenzo, he's the owner. No, you don't know Vincenzo. The owner is me. Kenzo is my friend who passed away, who I named the store after. Unless you knew him growing up, which I probably know you as well, then no, you don't know Vincenzo, the owner. Maybe you know Vincenzo, the person the store's named after. But if you're trying to say that you know Vincenzo, the owner, then they don't know anything about this store. They're trying to take advantage.
Yeah.
Help them.
So how do you balance, being a man of the community and trying to do all the things that you can to take care of the community with folks who are trying to take advantage of you and your
Yes.
business?
So that's a lot of stuff. That's hard to balance because you don't know who's like I know, but some of my employees might not know. But like we'll get a lot of, like I said, it's anything for the school. If you're doing for the school, it's fine. Well, we're honored to be a part of your event and we're happy to help you. No problem. We have a lot of people that are like, I'm doing this event. And then they're like, I want this, this, and this. And then it's like, and it's being delivered to my house. And it's like, no, I don't care if you're a teacher for that school and you're doing something for your family in the summer. That has nothing
Yeah.
to do with what I do for the school.
Yeah.
I had some lady pull a fast one on us just last week, trying to tell us that she's doing something for the local cheerleading program that we work with. We're with the program, demanding the program price. So like, whatever. Then she's like, it's going to my house. And we're like, it turns out that she's having a block party and she's having her
Yeah.
friends and family. And we just hooked her up with her food because she thought she was entitled to getting something for the discounted price that we do for the organization that she belongs to. What? And then if I say something about that, I'm wrong. Stuff like that drives me crazy. I am more than happy to help. We do stuff with a lot of people, but we also have, like you said, we have people that try and take advantage. We had one lady, we do something with them. We get a lot of business throughout the school year with them. They were doing the end of the year program, an end of the year party for the wrestling team.
Yeah.
So she's like, we want to do this, this, and this. We want to get trays of food. We want to get pizzas, blah, blah, blah. What can you do? I gave her the prices that we do for the for the pizza, which you're already saving close to $8 a pie when you take into consideration I have to pay taxes on things. So when I'm not collecting the tax from you, because I don't charge tax on like school events and stuff like that, they usually have their tax IDs and stuff, so I can't. So when you take into consideration that, it's still a sale that I have to put into the system, whatever. So I have to pay taxes. So I'm losing the money on the taxes, and you're getting the discount on the price on the pie. So you're saving a very good amount of money on that. Now I'm going to tell you, this is what I got for my catering prices. So I give her the prices for the catering. She calls me back and tells me, I was able to find catering prices that are $20 cheaper than what I got from you. Can you match that? Because I'd really rather give you the business than go to somebody else.
Like, if you want to give me the business, you're not calling everybody else.
That, and the fact that I just saved you throughout the entire course of the year, probably $500. I mean, whatever. You could have gone to somebody else. I don't know if they would have given you that price or not, whatever. That's neither here nor there. But we have a deal. I work with you throughout the entire year. No problem. You can't just go with the fact that I'm already giving you the best prices. So why would I take advantage of you here? These are the prices. Just pay those prices. I'm not taking advantage. I'm just charging you a decent price. and you're going to come back to me and try and save $20. And then it's like,
Yeah,
those are the people that are like, oh, it's so sad to see, so-and-so went out of business. They're amazing, but you haven't gone to buy any food from them or supported them in 5 years. You haven't gone in their store to do anything to help them stay in business ever. But they're great people. They're amazing. The food's amazing, everything. And they're online talking about how it's so sad to see them go. But
that's the key right there. Is it's online talking about it, right, and not being present and supporting and
yeah,
spending your dollars with folks where it matters. Yeah, I think that's a great lesson to share with somebody. Like, of course, you need community. Like, you got to support the community, and you need the community to support you. But you also have to watch out for the folks that are just looking to take advantage. They're not just looking to take advantage of you. They're looking to take advantage of anybody and anything they can.
like I take I take it personally. I take a lot because this is my livelihood. Like, and I don't wake up and come to the pizzeria at 8 o'clock in the morning to get things going, to have everything ready to be open at 11:30, to send you out a pizza that's gonna be bad. Like, that's not my intention. My intention isn't to send you something that's gonna stress your day out. Like, it's not. That's If it happens, I am extremely sorry, and I will do whatever I can to make it right. Call me. Let's talk about it. Me and you, first the problem. We'll get to a solution and we'll move on. It will always end with me saying, how can I make this right? I will send you another pie. I will send you something. I will send you your money back. I will do anything. People are like, this food wasn't good. Instantly jump online. Worst food I ever had. Never go here again. Worst place, worst. And it's just like, call me, talk to me. If you call me and you talk to me and I say, bro, fuck you, I don't give a shit. You didn't like the pizza. I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. I'm sorry. If not, sorry.
Absolutely.
I try not to curse. I don't curse a lot anyway, but like
I try not to too, but this is the kitchen.
so like, like if that's my response to you saying you didn't like the food, 100% go online. Tell them about the experience. Tell them that I'm not trying to make it right. And I've had people that think that I'm not trying to make it right. I've had customers that said that I'm argumentative or whatever. Argumentative. We have rules. We have things that we have to do the way that we have to do them so that we can run, right? I had somebody leave us a bad review because they weren't happy that the food took longer than expected. I tried to explain to the person over the phone that it was a torrential downpour. There are I was telling this to the person. There are down power. My drivers are reporting down power lines along the routes, flooding, so they have to take alternative routes to houses. And guess what? Everybody wants pizza right now because
Which is exactly why you called us, because you can't go out.
please explain to me why you're calling me to bug out about this. Just relax. You can have the pizza. Take it. No problem. I'm not trying to argument with you. I'm just trying to make you see this is what's happening. It's a difference between an excuse and the truth. An excuse is something that you make up to get out of something, right? That's an excuse. You use an excuse because you made it up and you want to use it to get out of something. The truth is actually what's happening, and that's just what it is. Like, you can't deviate from that, and it's not an excuse. It's just the facts, right? So that's the difference between an excuse and the truth, right? So
Yeah.
I'm not giving you an excuse. It's the truth. My driver, who is who's just got his license. You ever see those memes that they're like, I won't go out into the rain because it's raining, it's torrential downpour, or it's snowing and there's 5 feet of snow on the ground, but I'll call the local pizzeria and I'll let the 18-year-old kid who just started driving, I'll let him take his car out onto the roads and let him brave it. Like, that's what's going on
And
here.
give them $2. Yeah.
Like, and here, exactly. And here's your $2. And I'm trying to explain, like, we got way busier than expected because of the rain. Your food is getting to you it's getting too hot because I'm not letting it sit on the oven and then just say, all right, let it just sit there for 3 hours until that's not how long it took. Let it just sit there. It's the time frame. I have to make your pie. It goes in the oven. The guy comes back and he takes it. It sits on top of the oven for like 5-10 minutes and then he takes it. I don't leave. It's not sitting there. We have the ability where we can kind of switch out. If somebody orders a plain pie and they come in, here's your pie. It comes out and then we just move it along to the next ticket. So you're not going to get a pie that's been sitting on top of the oven from the time you made, like, I didn't get your ticket, let it sit there. Get your ticket, made it within 2.5 minutes, had it out in 8-9 minutes, and now it's sitting there for an hour and a half before it gets to you. No, I have a line of tickets. I'm making all of those tickets in order of them coming. And then I made your ticket. And now guess what? Your ticket's in the queue and it's going to you. And that's how it's
Yeah.
working.
That's because that's folks that haven't worked in a kitchen. Because when you're in there, all right, well, let's push the to-goes up, slow the delivery down a little bit. This guy's waiting. Give me the next cheese out. Let's get him out of here.
Yeah,
Give him a 2 liter so he's not pissed off at us.
exactly.
Like all the things that you got to manage during the shift.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, you got somebody at home who said, you said 45 minutes. It's been 46 and no one's
Yeah.
here.
Those drive me crazy. We have a couple of them. And it's always with the ones that we do good by. It's always the ones that we do good by. We work with the senior center that's in the area. We give them a very good deal. Basically anything that's in the community and helping the community, I will work with you on because you're a part of my community and I'm a part of my community and we work together to have a good community, right? That's how you have a good community. That's how you have a strong community. Everybody working together to do something to help, right? That's why they have the Chamber of Commerce's and all these things because it's people come together and how can we help, right? So we have this lady without fail calls us up, 12:30 delivery on the phone. She has to be dialing at 12:29 because at 12:30 the phone is ringing exactly. And I've had I've had my drivers who are walking in the store, walking into the senior center, and they'll be like, "She was getting off the phone with you." I'm like, "What time did you walk in?" I was like 12:31. Like, what is going on? And he's like, I hear them in the back, like I hear them telling the lady, the pizza guy's here. And she's like, oh, I'm on the phone with the pizza place. And it's like, you can't give us 1 minute? You can't give it, like, how did you get the phone to ring at exactly 12:29 at 12:30? Like you had to have started like
I knew you were going to be late.
This guy's definitely going to be late. It's like, you can't get the benefit of the doubt for 1 minute is insane. Like, I could see if we're a half hour late and you're on a schedule and you got things going, you want to call us and find out where we are. 15 minutes, fine. That's the game. You order pizza, they tell you 45 minutes to an hour, expect it to be 55 minutes to an hour and 5 minutes, hour and 10 minutes. That's just how it works.
We didn't tell you that to trick you.
We're
not trying to trick you into thinking it's going to be longer.
No.
And we get there in 30 minutes. Like, no, this is how long it's going to take right now.
No, like we have people that they'll come and pick up an order for somebody will like their wife will call in and then they won't tell their husband what the food is. They won't tell their husband what the name is under. They won't tell him anything. They're just like, go and pick up the food. And then the guy comes in, he's like, yeah, I got an order for Rich because that's his name. Meanwhile, she put it under her name. So now we're like, we don't have an order for Rich. What'd you get? I have no idea. Okay, so let's break this down. Was it a slice order? Was it a phone call order? I think slice. And then it's like, well, is your wife this? Is your wife this? Is this, do you know this person? Do you know that? Yeah, that's my wife. Okay, this could have all been avoided if your wife was just like, go to Vincenzo's, pick up 2 pies, it's under Valerie or whatever. And then he walks in and he's like, yeah, 2 pies for Valerie, or I got an order for Valerie. Not just go to Vincenzo's. I placed the order.
But then it's like, well, yeah, the guy couldn't find my order and this.
Yeah, and then exactly. And then it's on us because we don't know what's going on and we're idiots. And it's like,
these guys don't know what they're doing in there. It
yeah,
took them 10 minutes to figure out my food.
Tell the truth. Like, you don't know what's happening. You were sent on a mission blindly, which is fine because that's usually how it works when you're dealing with your wife. Like, that's, I mean, whatever, not a knock, but usually that's how it is. Like an interaction between husband and wife. There's minimal communication. It's just like, you should have picked up on the
expectation. It's just this pure expectation at this point.
It's the
you're going to get it. You'll figure it out.
You should have read between the lines and picked up on my eye blinks and stuff like that, but it's, so like, you can't fault the guy most of the time, but it's like, let's get this thing situated. And then we can make this a smooth transaction for all parties involved. Nobody has to be confused. Nobody has to be anything, and like, we get that a lot. We get a lot where it's like, all right, it'll be 25 minutes. 25 minutes? You can't make it any faster? No, we can't make it any faster. I'm sorry, because you want this to be as fresh as possible, right? Which is what we're going to do. You want it to be accurate, right? And you want it to be as hot as possible, which is all things that we're aiming to do. But that's the amount of time that it's going to take for those things to happen because we have other people's food to make and we told them 25 minutes, and we're telling you 25 minutes.
'Cause
Sorry, I don't know what to tell you, because if you call a pizzeria and they're like, "All right, we'll have it ready in 5 minutes," you might want to question when that pie
they
was,
didn't. Yeah.
when that food was made, because I know how long it takes my oven to cook a pie. I know how long it takes most ovens to cook a pie, and I know how long it usually takes to make the pie. Extrapolate that from how many tickets you're stuff, and like that's like that's why we have a time frame based on how many tickets. If there are X many
Yeah.
tickets up, 20 to 25.
So they're either cheating you or they're lying to you, because they'll tell you 5 minutes and you get there and you're gonna wait for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I want.
Or you get there and you gotta reheat.
Well, that's the thing. Exactly. You're gonna have to wait. If they're telling you 5 minutes, you're gonna sit there and wait. You're gonna because they're not gonna have it. And there are a lot of people we tell them 25 minutes and they show up in three, and then they're like, "You mean it's not ready?" And it's like, "Well, I don't know. No, it's not. Sorry, you
No,
just called."
actually takes 25 minutes.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that's why if it was going to take 3 minutes, if I was pouring you a bowl of cereal, I'd be like, I'll have it ready for you in 2 minutes, no problem. Come on in. What do you want? You want Frosted Flakes? Do you want Kellogg's, Rice Krispie treats? So what do you want? We got it all. 2 minutes, no problem.
All right, yeah, that's your next concept's a cereal joint.
Yeah, like
Fast ticket times.
I want to get it. I want to because we have a couple of cool signs up. I want to get a sign that says food made, and it's going to say hot, fresh, or accurate, and then it's going to say pick two.
Pick two.
I can make it for you. I can make it for you accurate. I can make it for you hot and fresh, but it's not going to be fast. I know it's going to say fast, fresh, accurate. Pick two. If you want it fast, it might not be fresh or it might not be accurate. If you want it fresh, then it's not going to be fast. It'll definitely, it'll definitely be accurate.
That I like that. I was looking at your menu and you have a good mix of all the traditionals when it comes to pizza, your
Yeah.
grandma and all your traditional things, but you also got some cool pizzas on there. How
Yeah.
do you balance like being creative and still having those traditional offerings? And you got you got a pretty big menu.
Yeah. So it's I know a couple people said cut it down, keep it simple. I guess it's kind of one of those things where it's like if we already have the product in store and we're using it for X, then why not add this item to the menu and use it for Y and Z and otherwise? So like if it's already in the store and we have to have it for a certain thing, then we can make a pie out of it, or we can use it for a pasta dish, or we can use it for this. So it's not necessarily like I'm bringing it in.
Yeah, that's like a variant to me. That's not like a new menu item. It's like a variation of
Yeah,
something
like
else
we
that we
don't
already
really
have.
add like for the showcase. We usually will have new pies and stuff, and then like we don't really necessarily add them to the menu, but we have them available in the showcase, and we'll do like not necessarily like certain things we'll do limited runs on because they don't they're not as popular, and certain things hit, and then we keep it in the showcase, and we just add it to like part of this the rotation. But you have to have some sort of creativity. You have to have something that sets you apart. A buffalo chicken pizza is a buffalo chicken pizza. So like what do you do with the buffalo chicken pizza? Do you add celery? Do you add blue cheese? Do you add so like whatever? I don't know, but like it's hard to really recreate. At the end, it's really hard to recreate the wheel because like pretty much everything has been done or it's being done somewhere at some point.
Yeah.
So we just try and keep everything um, in line to what we like to make. Like our grandma pies are very popular. Our vodka margarita pies are very popular. So we add, the vodka sauce to a lot of different pies, like to meat lovers and to, different things like that. I don't know. I don't even know if I answered your question.
It just sounds like you're having fun with it.
Yeah. I feel like you asked me a lot of questions and then I just like took the ball and ran like the opposite direction 30 yards. And I'm like, oh, hey, catch up. I don't know if we actually are playing the right play, but I'm over here now. Sorry.
I feel like I just need to be sitting at the table with you, just sitting down, having some pies, talking
Yeah,
shit,
I
and just
love it.
having fun, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
that sounds amazing.
I
I love
see.
it.
And what you got on? Is that Islanders?
So I did a couple of variants of the I don't know how I took it. I did a couple of variants.
Oh, that's you. Oh, okay.
So I turned the New York Islanders. I'm a huge Islanders fan. I turned the New York Islanders logo into a Vincenzo's pizza instead of the stick. I don't know if anybody's familiar, but this is usually a hockey stick. This is
Yeah.
usually a picture of Long Island. So I had one of my graphics guys make this into a pizza slice, turned the stick into a pizza cutter,
Pizza cutter.
and then we made Vincenzo's and the Islanders. We did the same thing for the Rangers, which killed me to do that. I have a lot of friends who are Ranger fans. I have a lot of customers who are Ranger fans. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Ranger shield, which is like the crest, and it says New York
Uh-huh.
Rangers sideways. So we did Vincenzo's and then pizza going down. We just did one with the
That's really cool.
we did one with the Yankees. I have that. I made that one up. We turned that old like the Yankees logo with the bat and the that top hat.
Hmm.
You know that logo with it just says Yankees with the top hat, like the bat going through the top hat or whatever.
Yeah,
Turned
like
that
what's on the hat. Yeah.
Yeah, so we turned that into Vincenzo's with the same script lettering. We made it into a. We're still working on the rest of the design, but the original one has the bat still with the hat going through the end. But we're working on the pizza peel is going to go. A pizza peel is going to go through as the bat instead of the bat leading into the hat. So we have that one in the works. I'm just trying to have some fun now that football.
You're just an artist.
I am I have some creative abilities, right? Like making pies takes some creativeness. Like it has to look appealing, has to look not, like there's some creativeness in cooking. Absolutely. Do not ask me to sit and draw you anything ever. You're gonna think a 5-year-old did it. I love and appreciate art. I don't have any skills, but like I was talking about the mural walls, I don't know. Like I have like just like random like art stuff like all over like uh, that's the Holy Hot Honey sign, which has to get illuminated. You talked to my homie Matt the other day,
My guy.
and then like over here this way, like I don't know if you guys can see that, but like this is
Yeah, I
all.
see the peels over there. Yeah. It looks
I'll take it for a little walk. So like because I just love the art. So like this is like the little like.
I got the Ninja Turtle peel over here too. Look at
Oh
that.
yeah, you gotta
The
have that.
Turtle cutter.
Yeah, Ninja Turtle cutter. So like I just won my fantasy football league. Sorry, I had to show that off. I'm defending it starting today. That's why this year that's not normally here, like it is now. But yeah, so like
Just to show off.
yeah, yeah. So like I this is like this is what I get to look at every day. Like I said, I have no artistic ability, but when I meet a local artist or I meet somebody that has any aspirations of being an artist or whatever, I just commission a piece. I have a couple. My two of my favorites are actually done by kids that came into the store that loved the artwork and said that they draw, and I'm like, make me something, please. And they came back with something, and I was like, take money, like just because that's how like just to. So those are two of my favorite. I was lucky enough to meet Carl Polano, who was the character creator on the show Celebrity Deathmatch. Remember that show
Really?
back in the day? It was
I
on
do.
MTV.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like
The little crazy wrestling matches.
exactly, yeah, yeah, yeah. So like it was all claymation in the beginning, and then it became like foam creation, like characters or whatever that were like done like stop motion event essentially. And I was I was able to meet the guy who created all the characters. Like all the any of the characters that were on the show. His
That's
team
randomly cool
worked
as
on,
hell.
and super freaking cool. So I got him to make me something, and then I also messaged randomly this gentleman Guy Gilchrist, is one of the cartoon. Hold on, sorry. Let me find my words. He drew for Jim Henson and the Muppets. Like he worked directly
Ah,
with Jim
okay.
Henson on the Muppets, drawing for the Muppets. So I contacted him, and I had him commission a piece for me. So those are like two of the bigger pieces, like from like people that are actually known. Everything else is just from like a local artist that I met at a show, like a comic convention or like like wherever, and I'm like, oh, please make me something. And I always tell them, as long as there's pizza involved, use your vision, use your medium, use your style, use your own creation, whatever you want to do. I just wanted to have a pizza involved, and then I'm going to put it up. And that's what they do. Like somebody they found a triangle canvas and they created a really cool pizza slice. And it's like super textured and like you can like it feel like you took layers and layers and layers of paint to make it look like a really, really cool slice of pizza. And that's because I was just like, bro, whatever you want to do, please make it for me. And that's what he came up with. And I was like, this is freaking amazing. Like I wouldn't have been able to tell him to do that. Like my mind wouldn't have like conceptualized that. So I was just like, you do you. You know, like I'm covered in tattoos and stuff. I'm not an artist. Like I have an idea for an art, and then I tell the artist, I go to you because you're the professional. You tell me how it should lay, like how it should look, what minor details to take out or to add or do this or to do that. This is just my idea. I'm here to talk to you about your professional your professional opinion. Sorry, I'm, that's why I'm here. Like I wouldn't come to you if I didn't respect your opinion and trust that you're going to do the right thing.
I heard that.
That's how I roll. That's how I do things with it.
You're super cool. All right. What do you see for Vincenzo's in the next 5 years?
You know, today's a good day. So I see in the next 5 years, you know, being my soon to be born son, you know, with him behind behind the station, you know, with flour all over him and making pies. Tomorrow might be the worst day ever. I might wake up and feel grumpy and feel like, I got to go spend another 12 hours. Because look, I don't know. I know you talk to a lot of pizza people and like you can cut this out or edit this, whatever. They make it seem like it is all sunshines, lollipops, and rainbows. It's
It
not
ain't.
that. It is not that. Like, obviously they're putting on that face because they're on the podcast and they're not going to sit here and be like, pizza business is the worst. It's hard. You're going to sweat. You're going to cry. You're going to bleed. You're going to burn yourself. You're going to cut yourself. You're going to stay up all hours of the day. You're going to be frustrated with this and with that. That's not, you don't want to hear that because you know that anyway, but that's not the story that we're trying to tell because it is 95% good and then 5% bad. You know, or maybe sometimes it's 90% good and 10% bad. Sometimes it's 80% good, 20% bad.
Sometimes it's all bad.
Sometimes it is 100% bad. And you're like, why did I fucking do this? And,
Yeah, sometimes it's all bad.
and you question everything that you just did, every life choice that you've made that led you here, you question, you know, but in 5 years, I would love to have another store. Maybe not in New York. I don't know if I stay if I'm going to stay in New York, but I would love to have another pizzeria where I could do a little bit different than what's here. Where this area is like very much a meat and potatoes, so it's more. It's like a
Mhm.
very much like where's my meat lovers pie? Where's my chicken parm pie? Where's my chicken this? Where's my sausage and pepperoni and this and that? Very much in that, which is fine. That's cool. I would love to be able to do like more of like a specialty pies with like, like I don't know, like figs and peaches and like, purees and like stuff like made like Neapolitan small style with like a higher hydration, longer fermentation, like something like making my own focaccia breads and making my own.
Yeah.
We make our own breads here, like paninis and stuff like that. But like make more focaccia breads, which we do make not as often. Making more of those things and having like more of like a rustic industrial type like farm stand almost. Like it's more like
Yeah.
I don't want to say like farm to table because that's kind of like very played out cliche, but more like a
Artisan style.
style where like maybe like some wine and like smaller seating with like like something like that. Like not like a crazy wine bar, but just like a couple small selections and like just like a
And no
nice,
one's asking you for a discount when you're selling stuff like that.
like something along those lines, like something where you can like be a little bit more creative, a little bit more fluid with the menu. Like
Yeah.
here you're very much stuck. Like what's on the menu is on the menu, and it's hard to be like, oh well, crumple up this menu, and then tomorrow we're going to throw this on the menu because then you have to make 100, 200, 300, 400 menus. Like you have to pay for menus, then throw out the old menus. Like you can't, fluidly, flow through a menu when you're like, and also when another, I would love to have like a, like more of like outside catering where I go and I set up. You see a lot of these like backyard pizza companies where they go and they have this like amazing setup in the backyard where you're like, somebody took so much time to set up every detail of this, and like that like stuff like that where I go into a private party and like I just make pizzas for, like 50 guests. And then like we break everything down and we go to another party the following day, or like a food truck along those lines. Something
Yeah.
where like I can, like move around a little bit.
Those do look like a lot of fun. And the operator in me knows that they're out there getting their asses kicked,
For
but
sure.
it does look fun.
It does, right? Like, cause like being in like it's enticing to be in another location every day and interact with new people every day. Like I love my customers. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to come off as like unappreciative of them or ungrateful of them. I love them. But you see the same person every day and you say the same thing every day. Oh, the weather's crazy. You catch that Yankee game? I have a customer, he comes in here 3 times a week. Paying the bills? Yeah, dude, I'm still here. Like, yeah, I'm paying the bills. Well, like, I like get it. It's like a friendly way of him, like, just like saying, like,
Acknowledging
like,
that,
kind of
hey, I'm
care. But it's
here.
like,
It's good to see you.
and it's appreciative that he cares, and I appreciate that he's here, kind of like eating the pizza and whatever. But it's like I want to be in, this guy's backyard talking about this, and then that guy's backyard or that family's backyard, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in a you know $2 million mansion on the coast of Long Island somewhere. It could be a 5-year old's birthday party with a petting zoo. Like, it doesn't matter. I just love to make pizza, and I love to interact with new people and meet new people, which is why it's like I want to get on your podcast and talk to you. You love pizza, I love pizza.
Yeah.
Somebody who will listen to me talk about pizza because my fiance is here with me all the time. She doesn't want to hear me talk about pizza.
Well, not only that, someone's going to email you like, fuck the Islanders.
That's
Some
fine.
crazy.
Cool. That's cool. It's all love. Whatever. It's all love.
That's super cool, man. Where can people find you? How do they connect with you?
Call the store. Like, I mean, like, yeah, like, I mean, I'll talk to anybody. You can email me. You can DM me. You can call the store. I'll talk to you. I don't care. You have a podcast. Go on the podcast. I'll talk to you. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't really have much of an Instagram following. It's something that I really, really wish I could have more time to tackle, a little bit more energy to as well to do so.
You
It's
guys do
tricky.
some funny videos though.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we had that the video that I made with my buddy with my buddies from the Oven podcast was really cool. The Wally video was cool. We have some cool stuff, but we're not present, and that's what it really is. Because like we like I said earlier, it's very much of what's in front of me now. So
Mhm.
like you have to be present. You have to post 2-3 times a day and like at specific times, and like it's like it's hard to get into like the algorithms of like other people. It's I don't know. I don't know the that's why people get paid a lot of money to do that stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I don't really have much of an Instagram following, but if you message me, I'll definitely answer. I will be answering. It won't be a bot or an Instagram manager that like that's handling my account. Um, and we can have a real conversation. The one thing that I love about the pizza industry is everybody is so cool and open to talk and collaborate and just share their love of pizza. Like I've hit up people that I'm like, they'll never get in touch. They'll never respond to me. And they get back to me like, yeah, what's up, man? What's going on? Like so many people,
Oh,
like it's crazy. Like Mike from Mike's Underground. I got to go hang out with him and Matt. And I was like, this guy wouldn't hang out with us. Not only did he hang out with us, he hung out with us for, I thought he'd be like, oh, we'll talk. He would have, we'd still be there talking to him right now if both of us didn't have to go to work, like if we didn't have lives. Like he was so like humble and so cool. And that's like, I don't know if you're familiar with Mike's Underground, but like, that's one of the,
yeah. Matt told me the story. He goes, man, the conversation was so good and we were just having such a good time just talking that it
one
felt
of the
wrong
biggest
to try to pull a camera out and talk.
like, and that's one of the bigger pizzerias on Long Island, and they're well known. Like people go to like seek his pizza out from outside of New York and stuff, and like they post about it too. Like it's not just like people love it, and it's amazing, and it's not just hype Instagram hype stuff. It is very good. But like even like I mean, Robert, I can never pronounce his last name from Keste. That guy is
I
amazing.
never met him.
And Keste is like a world-renowned pizzeria. He's a world-renowned pizzaiola. I messaged him randomly, and he got back to me. He was like, "Oh, no problem. Like, whatever. Come on, come talk to me." I like Paulie from Paulie G's. I mean, he was just like, "Hey, what's up?" You know, he's like people that are like you would think are unattainable and like are like on like I don't know, I guess the pedestal or whatever. I don't they don't put themselves on that pedestal. They're placed there because they have amazing product, but also because they're great people. It's like somebody could have a great product, but if they're assholes, then it doesn't really matter. Like perfect example. There are players that are very good in all sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, football, that are deserving of being in the Hall of Fame, but are hated by the writers. And the writers are the ones that control that. And they
Yep.
refuse to vote them in. But they are
Because
phenomenal players.
they spent years being antagonized by these guys,
Yeah.
not getting interviews,
And
not getting
and
interaction.
this is their get back. This is their get back. And instead of separating whatever, they don't separate it, and that's how they get it back. But these people that you know, like, I mean, so many people. The list is endless. Anybody that I've ever, even you, like, I was like, you want to make, like, you want to talk sometime? You're like, fuck yeah, pick a time. I didn't expect you to be like, yeah, let's talk, because like you've talked to some really big, successful, like, yeah, I've been here for 8 years, but like I get it. I have one location. And in the scheme of things, I have an Umberto's right around the block. I have a Mario's right down the block. And those are big name stores, you know? So like in the grand scheme of things, I know my place. Like I know where but like,
Right there with them.
but like we have a solid product so we can stand with them. But like if I hit them up, I don't have any doubt that they'd be like, yeah, what's up, man? How you doing? Like, I don't know. I was in King Umberto's and like I just so happened to start talking to the owner. That's how I know he's there all the time. And he was like, hit me up anytime. And he was like, here's my number. And I'm like, is this really happening? Sure. And like, I don't even want to bother him. Like I have his number and like I'm sure if I was like, hey man, whatever, like just what like happy holidays or whatever, I'm sure he would respond because why else would he give me his number? But like I don't want to bother him because it's like what do I like? It's almost like, what do I have to offer to you that makes me worthy of being in your space? And it's like the only common bond is pizza. And they're totally cool with just it being pizza. And like they don't
Yeah.
see themselves as like the Wayne Gretzky, so to speak, of the pizza world. They just make pizza like me. And it's amazing.
I love it. And that's one of the things I love about having a podcast is being able to connect with folks like that on this level. And they get to tell their stories and encourage the next round of folks to come out and do it because it is a tight community and everybody supports everybody. Look, it's dough sauce and cheese, man. Like we're all doing the same thing. Like, 90% of the shops in America are rocking grande or some blend of grande
Right? There's
on their
only
shit. We're all using the same stuff. So
there's
it's
only
like, let's
certain
just,
options. There's only so many different options.
yeah.
There's only so many ways you can cut a pie, right? Like
So, and I think, on some level, people think that everyone's competing with each other. No, there's 300 freaking million people in America. Like there's enough for everybody. You can't serve them all.
yeah,
And we're better when we collaborate.
absolutely. I mean, like if you look at the numbers of like how much pizza is eaten in a year in America and how much the industry is what, like a $3 billion industry or something? It might even be more than that.
50 billion.
50, yeah, 53 billion or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So you have the tops, like you have, Domino's and you have the Pizza Huts and the Papa John's and like stuff like that are making a slice of that. Not they're not making 53 billion and they probably couldn't make 53 billion if it was just that. That's not like, I don't know how, I mean, Amazon does it so maybe anything is possible, right?
But you know how Amazon does it?
On the
Through
backs of everybody
collaboration
else.
with everyone else's products.
Yeah, on the backs of everybody else, exactly. And like that's how I see it as like as long as I can get my quote unquote slice of the 53 billion, why would I not want somebody else to get their slice of the 53 billion? Not like I have to make a livelihood, but so do you. So does the person who opened up their pizzeria down the street. Like they have to go home at the end of the day and feed their family. They have to pay for their mortgage. They have to keep their lights on. They want to go on vacation. That the little luxuries of life that everybody deserves to have. And I would be selfish and I would be a complete fucking asshole, to be quite honest, if I wished anything but good luck and success and prosperity for anybody that's doing what I'm doing. Because if karma is real, which I like to say, like to think it is, which
It
it's
is.
weird because like karma is a weird thing because like people are like, oh, karma, karma, but like if I'm wishing somebody bad and then karma comes back to me, but like I don't want to put anything bad out into the universe. So like, don't put any negative out to the universe at all, right? Because I don't want the negative to
No,
come
man.
out to
This
me.
this is
But like, if I'm saying something, if I'm wishing bad on them, that means they're wishing bad on me. And then what if their what if their wish comes true? And then their wish is for me to go out of business. Now I'm out of a job. But now my employees don't have a job. My 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 wife doesn't have a job. You know, like we have a child coming in December. We don't have, you know, like everything disrupted. And for what? Because I want to make an extra $200 a day? That's fucked up.
yeah. Yeah, it ain't right. Yeah. It's too good. There's too much good out here to live life at that, in that mindset or in that with that energy that's hoping
Yeah,
something bad happens to someone else
absolutely.
because there's only two sides to my coin, good and bad. No, man, we're all living like
We all
pizza's a family thing. Like it's a community product. Now, someone asked me once, like, T, yo, why you always smile? I'm like, dude, I make pizza. Like I make pizza. Pizza makes people happy.
yeah.
Literally, I make people happy. That's what I do.
And you know, great. And like you said, the community is a family, and pizza is like the ultimate family meal, right? If you think about
That's
it,
it.
what other meal can you go and get? And you're like, I'm just gonna go down to the store, I'm gonna pick up a pie and some soda, and you just fed you, your wife, and your two kids. Everybody's happy. You spent 25 bucks, and that's it. You go to McDonald's, you spend $20 on two Happy Meals nowadays. You know, like it's 20 bucks just for you and your wife to eat. Then you got to buy the kids food. It's $40 when you walk out of the door. I am a fat skinny kid. I go to Taco Bell and I spend like $25 for myself. And my wife's like, "How does that come out to $25?" I'm like, "Because I don't know. It's just how it works out when you add all
That's
these.
just how it is
It's
now.
just how it is, you know. Like, but it's the ultimate bring the family together thing. So like, I know I'm sure you got to go and start the day, but one last thing for me. I was able to go to the pizza convention in Las Vegas 2 years ago. On the way home, we were stuck in Las Vegas at the airport waiting and a delay. And I just so happened to look up and there was a lady walking past. She had her pizza tag on. I didn't read it, whatever. I just saw her. I'm like, oh, did you enjoy the show? She's like, yeah, it was amazing. I love it. You know, whatever. We started talking. As it turns out, she's like, oh, my husband, Paulie G. And I'm like, your husband's Paulie G? And she's like, you know who he is? And I'm like, yeah. What, like, of course I do. And she's like, how? I'm like, because I'm a pizza nerd, and like, of course I know who Paulie G is. Like, and like, he's like, oh, he's right. She's like, he's right over there, sitting down, waiting, like, hanging out. I'm like, you think he mind if I would talk to him? And she's like, absolutely not. Go, have fun. So I walk over and I'm like, hey, I don't mean to interrupt. I don't want to bother you, or whatever. My name's Garrett. I own a pizzeria and on Long Island. I was just at the convention. It was amazing, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, hey, and he just talked to me like I was somebody he knew forever, just about his experience in the pizza industry and how things came about, and like all the way, and I'm like, you know, I love being a part of the industry, and he's like, it's a community, and I was just like, and it just like he was like, it's not an industry, we're a community, and I was like,
Yeah.
it's amazing, like coming from him, like, and this is Paulie G. He has pizzerias in Madison Square Garden, you know, like the most famous arena in the world serves Paulie G's pizza. Like, and he's just sitting in the Las Vegas International Airport talking to me about pizza like he's like he's nobody. And I'm like starstruck and awestruck and just like, holy moly. And he's just like, yeah, let's talk pizza, no problem.
But to your point, that's what makes you somebody is when you take it to the human level and
Yeah,
you connect with people
absolutely.
and you don't walk around like you're some big deal. And I haven't met anyone in pizza that does that
I
to
mean,
this day. And I've sat with some of I sat at the table with Mr. P and Cone before he passed away, like the biggest
yeah, like I mean,
and very cool.
yeah, like I've got like I've yeah, me too. Like I mean, and I'm not like not trying to like make
Oh,
it, but like and it's only because of the pizzeria. But I've got to like sit and like hang out with Mike from Mike's Underground. I got to hang out at DeFara's and eat a slice of pizza with Scott, and
That's
then like
awesome.
actually sit and talk to Harry, who's the old man's son. And like I've got to talk to him, and like I got his Instagram. And we started following each other. And like before that, I was hanging out at Paulie G's, eating a slice of pizza with Paulie G in his slice shop. And then I took Scott's pizza tour. You know Scott, right? From Slice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The man. Scott's the man.
Nicest guy I've ever met.
Awesome. Everything that I love being a part of his events. This the dollar pizza party that he does. We've done that. I finally got to make it to the Pizza on the Pier event, which was amazing because I got to meet so many like crazy top notch like pizzaiolas or pizza makers, whatever you want to call them, and like they were all just like, yeah, it's fun. It was crazy. Like
Everybody's
on
cool,
the
man.
pizza tour, we were about to get on the bus, and the guy, Gennaro Lombardi, who started Lombardi, first pizzeria in New York, or technically one of the first, he was outside drinking a cup of coffee with this gentleman, Mike, and it was his grandson, the grandson of the guy who started the first pizzeria in New York or in America, or wherever the story goes. The story varies, whatever. They're very well known, Lombardis, and they were just sitting outside because the guy has a loft above Ceste, which is whatever. So after getting to talk to Roberto, something with the C, I can never pronounce his last name, but he's very well known. Look him up. He's awesome, great dude. Keste Pizza. If you're in New York,
Okay.
got to try that spot. I think it's pronounced Keste or Keste. I don't know. It's like Keste with a little tilde thingy. Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, amazing.
I'll check it out.
So I go outside and Scott's like, "You got to take a picture with this guy." And I didn't know who it was at first, and it was the grandson of Gennaro Lombardi, which I think I'm pronouncing his first name wrong, whatever. And the guy Mike, who convinced them that they should reopen Lombardians. And he's like, "Take a picture with these guys." And I'm like, "Okay." I had no idea who he was at first, and then he told me, and I'm like, "Seriously?" And they were the coolest freaking people. They were just like, "Yeah, it's
Literally pizza royalty.
pizza royalty." That's what I said. I'm like, "Sorry guys, we were just talking," because like there's a bus full of people waiting for us. I'm like, "Sorry guys, I got to meet pizza royalty." I'm like, that was like literally the Wayne Gretzky of pizza right there. Like, it
That's
doesn't get
so
it.
dope.
It was so
That's
cool. I
so
got to
dope.
take a picture with him, and like it blew my mind. I was like, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, getting to
I
talk,
think that's super cool.
getting introduced to these people and shaking their hands, and then just being like, "Oh, I own a pizzeria," and that's probably the only connection that we have is the pizzeria. They're way older than me, born in Italy or born somewhere else, like whatever. Like we don't have much connection other than pizza, and that brings us together.
And that's enough. All right. So last question before we go. What advice would you give to someone opening their first pizzeria?
Okay, so know the margins inside and out, know products inside and out, know the scale as far as what you're bringing in and what you need to bring in product wise. It's in the beginning, it's hard to know what you need, when you need it, how much of it you're going to need, right? You want to be prepared and stock to the nines. You want to have everything ready to go. You want to be prepared like you're going to serve, 100 tops a night. You're going to be making 150 pizzas. But in the beginning, that's not reality most of the time. So just know where to, I guess, get in with certain products. Maybe do start out with a smaller menu and then work your way up. Every aspect of the business. Know how to make the dough. Know how to do and anything that's involved, whether it's prepping in the back, if you have, um, you know, sandwiches that are being made, like chicken parm sandwiches, eggplant parm sandwiches, shrimp and all that stuff that you have to prep, know how to do all that stuff. Know how to, make the meatballs from scratch. Know how to do all the sauce. Do not rely on anybody at all, especially in the beginning, because every single penny that you can hold on to and not give out in labor is huge. Labor is one of the few things that you can really control based off of what your mindset is on what you're going to do as far as putting in the work, right? If you're willing to put in the work, you could save on labor like crazy. Obviously, when you get to a bigger scale and you're doing crazy numbers, you obviously have to have a larger team. You have to hire
Right.
more employees, but don't hire 5 people in the back so that you could sit in the front and post Instagram stories and call your mom. You're not going to survive. Hire one very, very capable person in the back, and you and that person do as much work as possible, and then subsidize everything else with part-time and shorter staying staff members that are only there for maybe a couple hours, a couple days a week. Implement those times where things are happening. Have the staff. The downtime, you do all the work. You might have to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning to come in because you have to do you have to cut bread and season and do all these things for eggplant, shrimp, and chicken, and then you have to make the meatballs. Then you have to make a pot of sauce. Then you have to make to grind 5 bins of cheese or 6 bins of cheese. You could do all that stuff yourself and keep that money in your pocket and lay in bed for another 3 hours, or you can pay somebody probably $25 an hour to do that work for you. Do you value the extra $150 times 7 days a week in your pocket, which ends up to be almost $1,000? Or do you value saying I'm a business owner? Because that's this,
You're a broke business owner.
if you put more into this business, you will get more. Like you could make money and be flashy and neglect the business, and people will think that you're doing amazing because you have a Benz and you have a Rolex and you whatever, and on the surface, but you haven't paid your your laundry guy in 3 weeks. You haven't you're 7 months behind on your produce guy, and he's about to stop serving you. You know because the priorities aren't right. You're if you milk every penny out of this, yeah, you can walk around and be the man, but it's gonna disappear. You're not.
Yeah.
It's not cheap to run a business. Like, you have to pay electric. It has to be on for a certain amount of time. You have to pay gas. It has to be on for a certain amount of time. You have to pay for your product, because if you don't have your product, you can't make your product. You can't make money. Those are essentially fixed. They vary, in summer months, winter months, slow time, busy time. They vary, but they're fixed because you have to
But they're
pay them.
still there. They're always going to be there.
They're there. It might be a little bit more, it might be a little bit less. Mas or menos, right? You could do the work and have less employees and save that money, or you can, in downtime, you could go on vacation and have a bunch of employees do all the work for you and pay an extra, $500, $600 in labor because you don't really want to do the work. And obviously that gets a lot bigger. Like when you talk about places like Umberto's or places like these big spots. Cause the gentleman that I was talking to, he can't do the production that place does by himself. It's physically impossible. He has to have those people. And I know for a fact there isn't overstaff. It's just this is what he needs to run. And then things are like you might have to cut somebody early because there's nothing going on. And it sucks for that person who's counting on that money. But that person also has to understand, I cut you now, but then I'm also able to pay you tomorrow.
So that I can have you later.
So
Yeah.
that it's all one and the same. Like, you want to collect your paycheck next week, so unfortunately I might have to cut you an hour early today, so that there's room for things that are going to go wrong or whatever. Because you know right after the holidays and into the new year, it's a slow season. People have to you have to work through that almost everywhere. That's how it is. I'm sure it's with you too. Once the new year hits, it starts to get slow. Once the summer comes around and it's the end of the summer, kids are starting to go back to school and everybody's taking their last minute vacations, it's also slow. The last 2 weeks of the summer, the last 3 weeks of the summer, through August, there's a drop.
Yeah. July, August, super slow. Busier months in here, at least where I've been, December, January, but then right after Super Bowl, it's kind of chill until the end of the school year, until like spring break.
Well,
And
we get our pops during Lent. I don't know if you guys have a big pop.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
We
get
get
our
our pop,
Friday pops during Lent,
Halloween. We get our pop during Halloween.
biggest day of the year for us.
Valentine's Day, we turned into a big day because we make heart-shaped pizzas, heart-shaped garlic garlic hot pull aparts. So we sell a ton of those for Valentine's Day and the Super Bowl. And then like the rest of it is kind of like you get fat on those days and then you try and like beef up for the winter the rest of the time so you can hibernate and you have your acorns to eat while
Yeah, yeah. I always like to say, like, when I was, in my shop and running it, like, everything that we do is just preparing for Friday night.
yeah,
Like,
100%.
all week long, all we're really doing is just getting ready for Friday. Like, we're making money and we're selling, like, we're doing sales, but everything happens for us Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Thursday, yeah.
So,
Thursday,
like,
Friday,
I
Saturday.
mean,
And then once football
so
starts, Sunday.
and then, yeah, then you get Sundays back. So it's like, we're just preparing for that. That's when we're going to have our staff. That's when we're going to have, like, other than that, it's just like, we're going to do the heavy lifting on Mondays and Tuesdays, or I'm going to get my day off on Monday and Tuesday. And we're going to make sure that we're getting prep done on Wednesdays, and we're doing all, like, we're getting ready for the
Yeah,
weekend.
absolutely.
But
We get our truck on Wednesday and, so we get everything dropped off. And then it's Wednesday is like nonstop prep. We do some, obviously some after weekend prep to get things ready. But like you said, once Wednesday hits, it's just get everything going. And then it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then like Sunday, we start. Now it's Sunday since football is back. It's going to, be a little bit busier, but it's still, like you said, exactly how it is. That's exactly what it is.
love it. So that's good advice. Know your business, know your numbers, watch that labor, and don't pay anybody to do a job that you can do initially.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna save you down the road. I think that's great advice.
Yeah. Because
Garrett,
there's going to be, sorry. Yeah. I'll cut you off there.
I was just
I could, I
no,
could
I was just gonna say, man,
I could
I was just
literally
gonna say
talk to you
thank you, bro.
3 hours.
Well, you know what that means. We got to do a part 2.
I'll yeah, 100%. If you're open to it,
We got to do a part 2.
I would
Absolutely,
100%.
bro.
I would love to do a part 2. That'd be amazing.
I'm down for it. All right. Okay. One more. I said last question,
Yeah,
but let's
ask
do a
away.
little quick fire because
Sure.
because you're a sports guy
Yeah.
and it's football season.
Okay.
Jets or Giants?
None.
Either.
Neither. So
Bills?
I'll be politically correct, but because I am a long time born and raised a fan of this team, you'll probably be able to guess it. I'm going to have to say the politically correct name of this team so that you don't have to bleep it out or somebody gets offended when they listen to me say that it's the Washington. They start with a C. The Washington C team, and not the bad name, not the 4-letter C team. Okay. All right. You're still friends. You're still friends. It's all right. It's all right.
He's like, I don't want to do a part 2 now.
That's all right. Only twice a year we hate each other.
My business partner and roommate for my business partner for this entire time, and we were roommates for a long time. Skins fan.
Okay. Yeah. So he knows what time
So
it is.
we always had battles.
He knows what time it is then for real. So is he in the same boat? He won't say, will he say the Commanders, or he just says Skins or Redskins?
He was like, man, he liked football team better than Commanders.
I liked football team better than Commanders too.
And he bought a bunch of gear and all this stuff to like hang on to it because they changed it so quickly.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm hanging on all the football team stuff. But no, I mean it's Skins.
It's always going to be Skins. It's always going to be
H2. He grew up with RFK, RFK Stadium. He's a Skins guy.
Yeah,
He's from Maryland. Like, it's Skins.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Levittown, but my dad was a Redskin fan, and that's what I became. My fandom is all over the place. The only New York.
That's how I became a Cowboys fan. I grew up in a Cowboys house. So my dad and my granddad from Arkansas.
Okay.
Like, we're in Michigan, but it was still a Cowboys house.
Yeah. And then baseball. I'm a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, so I'm also scattered with that. But also,
okay,
dad, I got the suffering from him for that. And then the Islanders, the only New York team I root for.
Islanders, Pirates, Skins.
Yeah, I'm all over the map. Over the map. Yeah. But I still
in basketball, Knicks basketball though, at least.
So when I was in high school and like before this whole, I need to play. I can only play 3 games a week because I have to rest, and I'm not going to play because I don't know. When it was like Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan on the Bulls, and it was like the Admiral and and like Karl Malone and like Larry Johnson and like when he was doing the Grandmama and stuff like that, and like that, like Muggsy Bogues and stuff like those old teams, like I don't know, Hakeem Olajuwon, like that was basketball. They were they were banging and clanging and they were going to the hole and now it's just like 75
shoot threes all day.
Like nobody does anything, and if you do go to the hole, you're gonna get a foul called against you on either side. You never know which side's gonna get called. I don't know. I just
I
loving
hate the
loving
threes.
hockey and baseball, and then there's so much contact in that. And then I mean, I love baseball, hockey and football, and then like all the contact. And like baseball, obviously, is a completely different sport than all of them. But like the contact of like like I don't know, when it was still in the game, I loved it. I loved watching that. And then like I was watching like when Ron Artest went into the stands, and I was watching that game.
Yeah.
Awesome, like I was watching it live, thinking like, is this really fucking happening? Like so like not live there, but like live on TV or whatever. Because
Yeah, yeah.
that was like when like the Pistons when the Pistons won like after the Pistons won the championship that year, I think it kind of started to go down.
So yeah, so about the last 20 years, I mean, it's really like the post Jordan era
Yeah,
in basketball, where they change the rules, try to make the game score more points. Even like it's kind of weird. They're starting to try to do it in NFL a little bit
yeah.
with touchbacks going out to the 35 now, and you can't touch anybody.
Who was the guy
I understand.
who was the guy on the Pistons that had that crazy face mask?
That was
He busted his face open. He was
Richard Hamilton.
yes, Rip Hamilton. Yeah, that guy was nasty. Imagine none of these guys would need to wear a face mask in the NBA because nobody goes near each other. Like
No,
it wouldn't even be
not
thought of.
touching. If they do, they're going to go shake hands.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody's gonna fall on the
Shake
floor.
hands and
That's
hug.
it.
Hey, brother, it was really good talking to you.
Absolutely.
I am going to roll. I got to roll
Yeah, I
too,
gotta
but
go.
you got
I gotta get this.
you guys have a great Sunday.
You
Good
too.
kickoff Sunday.
Enjoy.
And man, I can't wait to do this again
Yeah,
sometime.
absolutely. I'm gonna jump back on the end of the line and wait online again. I'll be back in queue in no time.
Get back on there. I'm gonna hit stop on this. Don't leave just yet.
Yeah.